Hi, welcome to the Whiskey Catapult, where we catapult around the world trying different whiskeys from all over the world. So this is a bit of an interesting one because we're technically catapulting to two different places. So this is Never Say Die. It's Kentucky Straight Bourbon. However, it was transported and bottled in England. So, which kind of begs the question of, can it still be technically called bourbon? But I think the rules are it has to be made in the U.S. to be called bourbon, and then I guess the rules for bottling are a little bit different. So can't say for sure. But this is their small batch bourbon whiskey. It is 47.5%. It's a 70 centiliter bottle. And if you're interested, the serial number for this specific batch is NSD UK 00003348. So I had heard interesting things about this one, and I also kind of like gimmicks like this. So I know that there's some brands like Jefferson Ocean will take their barrels, put it on a ship, and do kind of a tour around the sea, aging it on the ocean to kind of get different influences into the whiskeys. And those are kind of fun to try. Some are good, some are bad. Excuse me. And then Cognac does the same with Kelt, if you're familiar with that brand. So I kind of like the idea of what would happen if bourbon was aged somewhere else. And I don't think that they bottle this right away when it gets to England. I think they age it in England for a short period of time as well. But unfortunately, it doesn't give that much information on the bottle, unfortunately. It smells really nice, though. Has got some... It's like dusty books. Like if you go to a library. So got brown sugar. Just kind of a classic bourbon nose, in all honesty, but the dusty books is kind of nice. All right, let's try it. Really sweet. Get that brown sugar. Kind of traditional bourbon notes. Some vanilla. Towards the end, I get a little bit of the rye spice kind of coming in. It doesn't say what distillery that this was distilled from. I think if I remember right, no, I'm not going to say it. I don't want to get in trouble for being inaccurate there. But it is for sure Kentucky one. If I had to guess, it's a distillery that starts with B, if I recall correctly. Yeah, but not much on the finish there, which isn't too surprising, given the ABV on it. It's crazy how it starts off very sweet, traditional bourbon with the brown sugar, some vanilla, and it almost has this dives down in flavor and then upticks back in with the rye spice kind of taking over. I don't know what the mash bill on it is, but there's definitely a little bit in there. And then on the finish, it just kind of dives back down, unfortunately. Finish doesn't last too long. That's a bummer. I'd be very interested to try. They have a cask strength version of this, and I'd be curious to see if that kind of extra ABV kind of helps the finish last a little bit longer. But it's kind of nice. Like a lot of, build a little bit of water into it. See if that helps open it up. But I got this specific one imported from the UK. Yeah. I'll show the bottle on this one too so you get a better view. It's a cool label. I have seen this one stateside, so you can find it. It's kind of a fun one to kind of bring out, and it's a good talking point. It's got a whole story behind racing horse and things like that. You know, it's Kentucky bourbon. I feel like they all kind of have a story about a racehorse or some involvement with that. Hopefully that doesn't piss a lot of people off with me saying that. But you notice it. You notice it. Okay, water tones down the dusty notes just a bit. Almost get a little bit of fruit in there now. It smells nice. Yeah, nothing really jumps out. It softens up just a little bit. Rye still kicks in at the end. And back to the finish. So it's a little bit of a roller coaster going through this one with the different flavors, which is actually kind of nice. You're not just getting a one note kind of bourbon. It kind of moves around. So this is good. I like this one. On my scale, it's probably not one that I'd buy again. But I am happy with the purchase, so I'm glad I picked it up. Like I said, I imported this one. I want to say I paid like 40 pounds for this one. So probably around $50 US. And I think that's around what I've seen it for in my area is around $50-$55. So with the story of the provenance, the idea of distilling it in Kentucky, transporting it and aging it overseas, aging it a little bit longer in the UK before bottling it, it's kind of cool. And it's hard to tell if it really adds anything to it because it really doesn't, for me, it doesn't really stand out too much from other Kentucky bourbons that I've had. Like if you were to get a E.H. Taylor small batch, that's not too far off from that, like from a flavor profile. Even the like the Bardstown Fusion Blue Label blend, it's not too far off from that one either. So, and I know that's, it's a blend, so it's a little bit different, but from a flavor profile, it's about the same. So if you're not able to get this one and you want something similar, I hate to give you a couple of generic examples, but from a flavor note, it is what it is. So, but it's a fun one. So I'm glad I bought it. It's nice. It's a good sipper. It's not one that I would feel like I would need to do as a, like a mixer, like an old fashioned or something like that. Story behind it is nice enough to where I'd be bringing this one to a bottle share, and it's a good conversation piece. So, yeah, not too bad. So, hope you liked it. Thanks for coming and watching. See you on the next one. Bye.